So I think we all know by now that Jedi Fallen Order is an incredibly detailed game, and last week I made a video exploring all the out-of-bounds areas in Jedi Fallen Order's Bracca planet. And although this is the first planet you visit and you only spend about 20 minutes here, it's actually one of the most detailed. And while making that video searching this planet for hidden details, I noticed lots of signs in Aurebesh, the Star Wars language. Actually making this video has made me learn the language. The translations for some of these are quite interesting. So today, I wanted to go through the map and share all of these with you, along with some other details you might have missed. And yes, I'm playing as a stormtrooper in some parts of this video. It's a great mod, you should totally go check out. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Bracca may be one of the most dangerous places to work in the galaxy, perhaps second only to the Death Star, because, you know. It's amazing just going back and revisiting this, realizing it's more detailed than I first noticed when I was first here. So let me show you what I mean. Starting off, right where you begin Cal's journey, to the left are these two signs. The top one says, "Do not climb," which is quite funny because you end up spending most of this mission climbing all over the map and scrapyard. It's literally a platforming mission. And the Empire don't seem to really enforce this rule, but more on the Empire's hold on this planet soon. And the bottom sign says Worksite Trench, where Cal is heading. On the floor just here are also a few markings. This one here says JK01. Not really sure what this means. I looked it up and couldn't find anything about this. Perhaps Jedi Knight number 1? But this combination of letters and words can be found in multiple parts of the map, as can this one, EC02. Again, no idea what this means. And then written in red just up here, this says engines. And this can also be found in lots of parts of the map. Interesting, this is written on the scaffolding. I guess this is the engine area. And some of the signs and translations I'm about to show you in the next few minutes are reflected in this conversation between these two guild workers. Take a listen, it's kind of insightful into guild worker life on Bracca.
The guild keeps cutting into my wages.
You gotta take on more jobs. You can't just sit here collecting a paycheck.
It's just so dangerous up there.
Of course the work is dangerous. You're a rigger.
What if I screw up, take a fall? I got a family to worry about.
A rigger with a family? Oh, friend, you've made some poor life choices.
Ha! Tell me about it.
Pretty much straight away here, we're introduced to the idea that working as a scrapper is an extremely dangerous job. This sign here translates to remember, safety first, watch your step, report shaky scaffolding, any and all accidents are preventable. The Scrappers Guild is not responsible for worksite injury. So it's pretty funny reading this, knowing what Cal has to go through to get around this worksite. There's plenty of shaky scaffolding around, and the fact the Scrapper Guild is not taking responsibility for any injuries seems as if there's no workplace compensation or any type of injury assistance in the guild. No OH&S here on Bracca. OH&S stands for Occupational Health and Safety. But this goes even deeper, more soon. And just up here, we have our first Clone Wars reference of the game.
Them Clone Wars were fierce.
Can't be more than a few years old.
Yeah, aged worse than you did, though.
Guess you can't stop progress.
Bracca is now obviously the scrapyard of many starships used during the Clone Wars, and just behind these guys here on the wall it says engines again, which I think is what this guy here is working on. Okay, on to some more of the wordier signs. This here says hard helmet required. You may purchase a helmet from the guild store for 250 credits. So the workers don't even get provided with their helmets. They have to use their hard-earned credits to buy their own helmet, as if their work conditions weren't bad enough already. What a terrible place to live and work. The sign down here is the safety first one that we saw earlier, and the graffiti on the wall here is again Engines worksite. This sign here says caution, watch out for droids. So I'm assuming this is referring to the flying droids we see moving all around the map. I got a close-up shot of one of those here. And then just up here is another interesting conversation about work conditions on Bracca.
Can't spend money if you're dead.
Them crazy riggers can't seem to understand that.
You should get that checked out.
Sure, it's nothing.
The scrapper here even has a cough, and although she brushes it off, obviously something is not right. Seeing these types of moments in the world around you is how the developers are trying to make this world feel real and lived in, as if the workers are actually experiencing the hardships of working in such a poor environment. And for all the safety signage we've seen so far, it's obvious the signs are about as far as safety goes on this planet, which is interesting though, because what one of the next signs tells us is that the Empire is always watching. This here says do not climb. Again, funny because Cal's climbing everywhere. Okay, and this next sign is probably the most insightful into the Big Brother surveillance style of the Empire. This says notice, this worksite is under Imperial surveillance. Suspicious activity will be reported and criminalized. A bit later in the story, where Cal saves Prouf from falling by using the Force, there's actually an Imperial probe droid hovering in the background, watching the incident unfold. The Empire seems to always be keeping a close eye on the behaviors of the scrappers, and this is how Cal eventually gets found out and has to go on the run, and the story of Jedi Fallen Order begins. Okay, up here on the wall, this graffiti says hyperdrive, and these two signs we've already seen. And up here, we get an example of the fear instilled into the scrapper workers by the Empire's constant surveillance.
I don't think these tools are gonna make it through the shift.
Up here.
You say that every time.
Remember the old days when the guild
you,
serviced our gear?
Yeah, those were the days.
This Imperial contract has banned the poodoo. Got us paying to maintain our own equipment.
Hey, clamp it. Never know when one of those droids are listening.
So the guild workers have to pay for both their own helmets and their own tools? Could things seriously get any worse on this planet? And they're afraid of losing their job. What a world to live in. They almost seem too cheery to actually be living in this world. Okay, after we see the Separatist ship land, there's a sign up here that says climbing will cause injury. A lot of anti-climbing signs around. The Empire can obviously see Cal is climbing everywhere, so they obviously don't seem to care. Even though they're watching him, they don't care about the climbing stuff. They don't care about his unnatural Jedi climbing skills, but using the Force, no, that's too far. And what happens next is quite interesting. So these two workers up here accidentally drop a bunch of barrels which destroy the pathway Prouf is standing on. So Cal is forced to take another route, whereas Prouf walks around this corner here, and if we use the flying glitch to see where he goes, if we chase him around this corner, he disappears. So I'm not really sure why he wanted us to follow him. But this is quite common for a game design. If an NPC goes off screen, it's common for the game developers to remove them until they're next needed. I think it's funny though that we can now go here using this glitch and realize that we can't actually follow him even if we tried. Okay, so I slid down the ramp and tried force pushing this droid off the platform, but unfortunately was unable to do so. He said I wasn't approved trash, so I wanted to teach him a Jedi lesson, but unfortunately couldn't. So each of the gonk droids you see all around the map are actually unique. This one is called AG0. And the sign up here, this one says Worksite Wing, referring to the Venator class Star Destroyer wing. This writing here says Trench, so we've made it to the trench that was referred to earlier. And this gonk droid here is DC4. This here says Ven Hallway, referring to the Venator hallway. We've got some writing up here on the wall that says EC02. Are these hidden messages or a code for something? Hopefully. Okay, and as you climb through here, this says Trench, and then probably the best sign on Bracca. Do you guys remember the scrap rat?
Sounds like scrap rats. Creepy. Just passing through, guys. No need to come out and say hi this time.
You can actually see scrap rats scurrying along this railing before you climb through this tight opening. The sign down here, which I really struggle to get the camera close to because it's in a tight spot, says attention, do not feed scrap rats. Here's another few random letters and numbers. This one says JU03. We hadn't seen this one yet. This gonk droid here is GG3. And now we've made it to the hangar. That's what this says. This one here says Worksite Wing. And here, where you can see Prouf again, I found you could actually skip ahead in the mission using the flying glitch and go straight to the next cutscene. Prouf is standing on the wing up here, and if you keep walking, you'll actually start sliding, just as you're about to do in the next part of the mission. But if you grab onto one of these railings here and jump up to the spot where Prouf is waiting for you, you'll trigger the next cutscene and skip the part where you see the wing being cut off the Star Destroyer. Okay, so Prouf's uniform, and all the Scrapper Guild uniforms are actually the same. These letters here say SP0, ATK ISO. So does this mean attack ISO, or is this a reference to Rowan Atkinson? I don't know. I tried looking it up, but to no avail. There was nothing there. Couldn't find anything. So here's something funny. After you fall down the side of the Star Destroyer wing, if you freeze the camera just as Prouf disappears from the screen, you'll notice that he's no longer in a falling animation. He's just standing there, floating in midair above the thing that I still think is a Sarlacc. And as you let Cal drop a little further, Prouf is still standing there, but just as the camera swings around and he comes back into view, he teleports up to be hanging on the side of the Star Destroyer wing. I guess the developers felt that because he was off screen, he no longer needed to be animated. So now we're in the train, and there are just a few more translations I want to show you guys. The first one is meaningless. It's on the TV screen. GHJ GVUIYQ. Is this something to do with the next stop for the train or something else? Who knows? I'd like to think there's some secret hidden message here in all of these random letters and numbers we've seen throughout the map. Some graffiti on the train seat here, the only graffiti I could make out on the entire train. This says TZAS. Is this someone's tag or another hidden secret message? And here we've actually got some decipherable text. This says turbine engines. So this train isn't transporting luggage, but starship parts. And this gonk droid is DC-4. And on the back of the scrapper here are the same letters we see on Prouf's uniform. So there you go, guys. Some hidden details and translations you might not have noticed before. Do you think there are some hidden messages in all the random numbers and letters? And I was thinking of doing this for a few of the other maps in Jedi Fallen Order. There's lots more Aurebesh writing all around the place, so might give that a go soon. And if you missed it, there's a lot more hidden details around this map, which I looked at in this Jedi Fallen Order video. Some more translations hidden outside the map, and some pretty cool Clone Wars references. You can watch that here. And follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join my Discord for lots more Star Wars gaming, news, Easter eggs, memes, come join the community, and more. I think we're nearly up to 3,000 Discord members, which is incredible. Thanks, guys. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.